Hello, Management 1000 students in the Hybrid and Flex section. As you know, our 7-week course moves very fast, and it is half in the classroom and half online. That's what hybrid means. And so sometimes it's convenient for me to talk to you with a video message just to make sure that you have some important information that will help you succeed in the class. So what I want to talk to you about is that your grades are posted for your first 2 chapters in Connect. So it's very important that you review your grades. The way that you review your grades is you come in here to pause and you click on the grades link. And I actually have a couple things to talk to you about, so if you're familiar with this, give me a moment and let's talk about some things, okay? All right. The first thing that you see as you look through your grades is your attendance and participation, and I'm about to post your attendance and participation for week 3. I've not yet gotten to that, but I wanted to get to you very quickly. And you'll notice that I'm giving you feedback. So if I've, dock you for being tardy, that kind of thing, or if I'm leaving you a note to improve, what I like to do is the very first time I try to prod you a little bit to say you need to do better on this. But if of course you don't improve, then I will start to take off points. Some of you, for example, will see messages about the fact that I need your picture. So I will start taking off points until I get that picture as I posted to your grade. So anyway, not to spend too much time on that, but this tells you that out of 4 points possible, that's the bottom number, the amount of points possible, you earned, for example, 4 points, or in this case 3.5 points, whatever it is. Now, why is this important? Because when it comes time to add up your overall grade, what I do is I add the points that you could have earned. Okay, that's the points possible, and that becomes the denominator, the bottom number of the fraction. And then I'm going to take the points that you did earn. Here I did not earn everything I could have earned, and I just simply add up all these points. That becomes the top number. When you take the top number, divide by the bottom number, you're going to get a fraction. Okay, and that fraction, if you multiply it by 100%, or by 100, becomes a percentage and is your grade. So it's important to keep an eye on these. Also, remember you have 48 hours to let me know if there's a problem with your grade. Otherwise, the grade stands. Okay. That being said, I try very hard to give you accurate grades. So here are your grades for the Chapter 1 and Chapter 2 quiz. Now, of course, like I say, you go into pause, you click your grade links to see your particular grade. Now, I am reminding you of something that is in the syllabus, and very important to read the syllabus, and that is that there is a minimum score requirement. As you remember from the first day of class when we covered the syllabus, I give you every opportunity to succeed. I give you unlimited attempts on the assignment. In other words, if you take it the first time and you take it the second time and you take it the third time, I think that's a wonderful thing because you're immersing yourself into the textbook and into the reading. Right? Now, there's no reason in the world that everybody in the class shouldn't have done very well because you have these unlimited attempts and you have the free 21-day trial, so you could get started right away even if financial aid or your other source of funding is not yet available. So very important to get started. So again, you can see here I didn't perhaps score a perfect score, but in this case, whew, I made it in. I have to have at least a 16 out of 20. If I had made a 15 or lower, I have in effect scored 0. Again, if you look at the syllabus, when you take this test 2, 3, 4 times, I only record your highest score. So you have nothing to lose by repeating it. If you, the very first time you take it, make a perfect score, take it again. It's a good way to go through the chapter. You certainly will not diminish that high score that you made the first time. It's an excellent way to study. Okay, but you got to do it. Now, hopefully right now, you are working on chapters 3 and 4 because you know those due dates are coming very quickly, and I'm going to talk about that in a moment. So, very important because as you complete these quizzes, you are directly studying for your exam, which we will be talking about very soon. Okay, let me keep on going because some of you attempted and did well, and that's a good thing, on the bonus points. Okay, so you can complete the interactive assignments as bonus points. I do again require that you make at least an 80% to earn as much as one bonus point, but here, for example, I only scored 0.9, so I would receive 0.9 of a bonus point. Now, I like the fact that you're doing these interactive extra credit assignments to earn points. I think that's a wonderful thing. But I do want to point one thing out to you, which is they are extra credit. I was a little disappointed as I posted some of the scores because I noticed that some of you on your quiz grades had maybe a 14 or a 10 out of 20, and yet you had spent time working on the interactives. Again, while I think it's wonderful to earn extra credit, and I do think that this promotes your learning, remember that these quizzes are worth 20 points, and if you don't meet the minimum score, then you've gotten 0 out of 20 possible points. Now look at the syllabus in terms of drop grades. You only have one. Very, very important, okay, that you do well on these assignments. Okay, so what we're talking about here is in pause, the grades link, review your grades, make sure that they are accurate. If, for example, you see that I have posted a 10 out of 20, and even though this will eventually, a 10 out of 20 would eventually become a 0 according to the syllabus, I'll post the 10 there. But if you look at that 10 and you say, well, that's not my highest score on that assignment, I go back and I look at Connect and I know with great certainty that I made a 19 out of 20. Well, that means that I made a typo, okay? So you need to email me within 48 hours, but you need to email me and let me know that I made a mistake, and I'm happy to correct it. I try very hard to be accurate. I know your grades are important. You work hard for them. I do understand that, and I really do want to be accurate, but this is kind of your paycheck, right? Your grade is the payoff for being in these classes, and so I do expect you to take some responsibility for monitoring it and making sure, you know, that that's one reason why I put it into pause, so that you understand and we kind of have an agreement on what that highest score in Connect was, okay? But again, I manually type these in, so double check it and let me know if you see any errors. Okay, so you'll start to get the hang of that. Now, speaking of Connect, here we are. You see that chapters 1 and 2, the due date has passed, but in this Flex and Hybrid class. Okay, so it is Flex in that it's a fast learning experience. It is Hybrid, which means you're expected to do half of the lecture outside of class in addition to the homework. So we have 2 more chapters to cover this week. Those chapters will be due on Monday, November the 5th by 11:55. Now you have unlimited attempts, but you only have unlimited attempts if you're actually making time to use them. Only a couple people, in fact only 4 people, have started these assignments. So I encourage those of you who may not have started yet to hit the ground running so that you make sure you have time to get a score that is at least 16 and hopefully higher. Because if you score a 16 out of 20, then you get a 16 out of 20. If you score a 17 out of 20, then you've earned 17 out of 20 points. If you score a 15 out of 20, you have earned 0 points. Very important to spend time working on these assignments, okay, and that you're using your syllabus to make sure you're focused. Now, looking ahead, you see that the test is coming. We'll talk more about this soon, very soon, right, in about a week, but what you need to know at this point in time is that the questions that are going to appear on this test come from the homework quizzes. Now, the quizzes are a pool of questions. The test is going to be a pool of questions. Again, going back to these unlimited attempts, the more times that you repeat the quizzes, the more exposure you will have to the pool of questions. So, you know, if I was you, I think a good strategy is to go in there and to keep taking those quizzes so that you're fully immersed in the reading, fully, you know, seeing these questions and getting an understanding of the concepts, and in doing so you're getting the best possible score on your quizzes and you're doing the best on the test. Okay, so you can do that. Now, a couple tools here to keep you on track. Remember that I gave you a schedule. If you skipped the first day of class, if you didn't get a copy of the schedule, then you might need to ask me about that. But you really need to be keeping track of the due dates, which are shown in Connect, are also shown in the pause system. Just for a moment here, I had clicked on the grades link, but if you go back to the course homepage for our course in pause, okay, maybe I don't have those on the calendar in there, so it makes the schedule that much more important. And again, if you skip the first day, this is the kind of information you might have missed out on. Okay, so what should you be working on now? Well, you know, Chapter 3 we've talked about, Chapter 4 we've talked about, so that due date, as I say, is Monday, November the 5th. But there's also a note here that says begin preparing for the SLO quiz. And this is one of the reasons I'm making this video to talk to you so that I can explain to you what this is. Okay, here's what it is. In pause, if I go to the quizzes link, you will see a quiz here that says practice quiz, SLO practice quiz. Now I did describe this on the first day, but this is a good chance to revisit this. You see that you have again unlimited attempts on this quiz during this period of time from November the 1st through November the 30th at 11:55 p.m. So what is the SLO quiz? Why would I practice for it? Well, let's talk about that. Remember our syllabus, and on the first day I showed you these objectives, and we said this is something that in all of our mini sections of this particular course, we make sure that everybody emphasizes these 5 things. And then we said, wait, there's this note here. The SLO quiz at the end of the course will assess your understanding of these topics. And I said, I'll tell you more about that later as we go. Okay, so now it's later. You know, in a 7-week course, later comes pretty quickly, doesn't it? Okay. All business courses at our college, whether it's accounting or whether it's intro to business, right, take a standardized test at the very end of the semester. The test will be 15 multiple choice questions. 15 multiple choice questions, okay? Those 15 questions turn out to be 3 addressing this objective, 3 addressing this one, 3, 3, 3. So 3 times 5 is 15. That's where the questions come from, right? And how does this count? And notice, you know, the webcam, we marked that out, right? So I've got that marked out here. Well, let's just go down here until we get to our assessments. Well, here's where, you know, we talk about exams. Here's where you are told about the minimum score requirement. Here's the SLO exam. It is mandatory and it's 45 points, right? Well, 3 times 15, it's a 15 question multiple choice quiz, is 45 points. So each question counts 3 points, okay? And I think I even probably have more information about that. Sure enough, I do. So here I am on page 9 of our syllabus. The SLO exam, it says the exam is required. There is no drop option and there will be no makeup option for it. It's required by the college and is given at the end of the semester. Specific instructions for the SLO exam, including how to prepare, will be given to you near the time of the exam, and of course that's now. So the SLO exam is actually given in the My Southwest system, not the PAWS system. Okay, so I am going to tell you about that, and you can read through this by yourself. But in pause, the way that you prepare is you're going to come in to this SLO practice test, and you know, you can read a little bit about it, but this is a study tool for you. Some of the questions that are in this quiz are the exact questions that will appear on the SLO final quiz. Some, of course, are just extra questions that I've put in there. So you can go through and take this as many times as you want. You know, this is a pause quiz. If you're familiar with pause, you know, you just pick a choice. I'm obviously not reading any of this. I'm just going through. And you would go through and do that. I'm going to save all responses, go to submit the quiz if I can. I haven't answered all of them, obviously. Then finally I'm going to submit. Yeah. Now, I'm not going to give you the answers on this. Oh, look at that. I didn't even read that one, and I ended up getting it right, okay? And the way I know that is the system awarded full points, but I want to talk about points. Here, I obviously missed this question. Now, I'm not telling you what the correct answer is, but you certainly can use your textbook to look up this question and to try to find the correct answer. In that way, you're preparing for the quiz. Right? Now, of course, I can do this again. You can take it as many times as you want, and I would encourage you to do that. However, just as it says in the actual name of the quiz, you will not earn points for practicing. So, you may say to yourself, why do it? Because, as we looked at earlier, oh, in fact, I can just use this, because those 15 multiple choice questions are worth 3 points each on the actual and for real SLO exam. So studying to get 45 points is a good thing, especially if you haven't done so well on some of your required 20-point quizzes so far, then you can see the value of a 45-point quiz, right? So very, very important that you do that. So I hope this helps. I don't mean to talk to you too long, but I wanted to tell you that you can go ahead and start exploring this SLO practice quiz. By the end of November, by the end of this month, you will be taking the actual quiz. If you haven't done well on, your Connect quizzes, it's not too late to do well. You have one drop grade, that kind of thing, but you have got to get started. This is a 7-week class. We cover 2 chapters a week. It goes very fast. I think you're all capable people. I'm really trying to make it possible for you to succeed. Unlimited attempts on those quizzes. I record only the highest score no matter when you made it on that quiz, but you have to meet me, I would say halfway, except I think I've already come 80% of the way, right? You've got to spend time with the textbook. If you don't have the textbook yet, you've got access to the ebook, and I've shown you that in class several times. Now, on top of that, I know that you guys are working hard to attend and participate, and I appreciate that. I love seeing you in class, and I think we have some really great participation going. Now, you know from the point system that if you don't attend and if you don't participate, an A student suddenly becomes a C student. Okay. At the same time, if you are attending but you are not doing the Connect work, that's not enough to pass the class. I need you to do the work inside a class, and I think you're doing a good job in attending and participating, but I also need you to do the work outside of class. Okay? So I hope that you'll hunker down. Those of you who are doing a good job, keep it up. Keep those grades going. This is just going to fly by. So really focus. Get your calendar set up so that you're using that. Use the schedule that I gave you. Refer to the due dates that you see in Connect. You might want to sketch out a calendar so that you're done ahead of time. One of the last tips for success that I'll leave you with is the students who tend to do best will sit down every day and attack the quiz. They'll do it at least one time, even if you don't have enough time to get your best score. They say, I've got 30 minutes. Let me sit down and do a Connect quiz. And then tomorrow when they come back, they go, oh yeah, I remember that question, right? And then they do really well on that question. And by the end of the week, you've knocked out both chapter quizzes and you've got your score up to what it needs to be, okay? So make time to repeat the quiz. You've got to make time if you're going to take it more than once. All right? Thank you very much, and we will see you in class Tuesday and get started on that SLO practice quiz, because that will be a 45-point quiz that we'll take at the end of this month, only a few short weeks away. Thanks, y'all.